Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
More people will soon meet requirements for the latest stage of COVID vaccination. It's part of Illinois' effort to deliver the dose faster.
We tell the story of Reagan. It's not just telling who the man was, how he grew up in Dixon, how he lived his life very humbly.
The keys to President Ronald Reagan's childhood home are in the hands of someone new. Wisconsin's former governor says the state line structure can serve as a learning tool for future generations.
And a state line community celebrates one of their own. A veteran's granddaughter says his milestone birthday is one he'll never forget. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. More Illinoisans get the green light for the COVID vaccine.
Today, Governor J.B. Pritzker announced an expansion to Phase 1B of the state's vaccination plan. Starting February 25th, those with certain underlying conditions and disabilities will be eligible to get the dose. Pritzker says the expansion is possible due to a national increase in vaccine supply. Conditions such as cancer, kidney disease, obesity, and diabetes are just a few of the newly added qualifications. The change also means individuals 16 and older will be eligible. State health officials say over 1.5 million doses have been administered so far.
Their efforts are far from over. Dylan Siraki joins us live from the Winnebago County Health Department. Dylan, more medical professionals are being trained to help out, right?
Yeah, that's right, Eric and Mimi. Local health leaders say despite a lagging supply of vaccine in Winnebago County, it's been an all-hands-on-deck approach to getting shots in arms as efficiently as possible. One group that's recently joined the vaccination effort is dental workers. They were given the go-ahead by the state to start administering shots last week. All dentists who want to help out at mass vaccination clinics are required to take a 1-hour training session. I talked to a local dentist who's planning on taking the training. He says he'll be ready to go if called into action.
I think that any dentist out there certainly would be capable of giving the intramuscular injection. I think it's something that, we've given tens of thousands of injections. It's just putting it in the arm instead of in the mouth.
Coming up tonight at 9 and 10, Health Department Director Dr. Sandra Martell shares how some dental workers are already impacting the county's vaccine rollout plan. Reporting live in Rockford for your home team, I'm Dylan Siraki.
All right, Dylan, thanks for that live report. Administrators in the Rochelle School District say an elementary school could be on the chopping block due to a drop in enrollment. May School on North 2nd Street would be only half full next year. For a savings of $200,000 next year and $300,000 the following year, the school board plans to consolidate attendance down to 3 elementary schools. Administrators would close May School, have one building for pre-K through 1st grade, another for 2nd and 3rd, and a separate building for 3rd through 5th. A remote learning teacher would be assigned to each grade. A parent feedback session is being held tomorrow night at Lincoln School at 5. The start of Lent is just 1 week away, and Catholics in the state line can expect a few changes on Ash Wednesday this year. Rockford's diocese says rather than priests blessing each parishioner while receiving ashes, the priest will bless everyone at once, then give individual ashes in silence.
While Illinois is known as the land of Lincoln, the boyhood home of the 40th U.S. president still stands in the state line.
And it has a new owner. Ari Bruckman takes us to Dixon tonight.
Young America's Foundation took it over, preserves it today as it was back more than 20 years ago, and uses it as a tool not only to learn about Reagan, but about the things he stood for.
When COVID forced tours for Ronald Reagan's boyhood home in Dixon to end, the foundation couldn't keep up. That's when former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker and the Young America's Foundation stepped in.
Our hope being that not only will people come in larger numbers to tour the home, but then we would tie it in with young people, preserve the historic aspect of Ronald Reagan the man, but also the things that he stood for.
Young America also preserved Reagan's Santa Barbara, California home. This is a group the Illinois native knew well.
Young America's Foundation has had a long relationship with our 40th president, Ronald Reagan. Even back in the 60s, before he was governor, he was one of the leaders of YAF nationally. As governor, then as president, he was connected with our students at conferences.
Walker believes keeping this house open will provide an opportunity to educate young Americans, from conferences and tours to even just learning about the president and his values.
Telling the story of Ronald Reagan, who he was and what influenced him, is so important to our young people right now to say, not just on your politics, but let's get back to a love and appreciation and a sense of patriotism for this country.
Young America hopes to restart tours here as early as this spring. In Dixon, for your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
A national nonprofit looks to make tax season a little less stressful. United Way is once again providing free help on myfreetaxes.com. To file your federal and state returns, all you need is a smartphone or computer. It is free to use. Help from tax professionals is also available. Local United Way administrators say the service helps simplify the process so people are less intimidated.
It's important that you do your taxes. Obviously, you want to stay out of prison. But it's also important that you prepare your taxes properly and that you get the refund you deserve and the tax credits you deserve.
Since 2009, more than 1.3 million tax returns have been filed using this service.
With sub-zero temperatures expected over the next several days, it's important to make sure your car is prepared in the event of an emergency.
It's common for vehicles to slide into snowbanks or ditches during icy conditions. A state trooper tells Michelle Rave throwing a few items in your trunk could save your life.
Yeah, call for help, call 911 or try and call the state patrol or someone to help me.
Getting stranded when temperatures are in the single digits and wind chills below zero can be deadly.
Just being prepared for any type of situation really can pay off for you.
Illinois State Police say the most important reminder, do not panic.
Generally speaking, staying in your vehicle is the safest place for you. Some of the weather we've had blinding snowstorms. And if you get out and walk in that, along with these cold temperatures, you're not going to last long, out there walking.
Master Sergeant Brent Massengale says during the winter months, it's important to keep a phone charger, water bottle, along with blankets and anything you can use to keep yourself warm in your car. I caught up with some drivers at the Belvedere Oasis. Some seem like they're ready for anything, while others, not so much.
I carry, a couple weeks supply of food, blankets. I have a gas heater. Just stuff like that in case anything would happen.
I have gloves, hat, coat, boots, blankets. I probably should have more.
Not really. Like I said, until it's too late, then you think about it.
If you end up stuck for some time, you'll need to make sure your car stays clear.
One thing to remember if you do get stuck in a snowdrift, be aware of your vehicle exhaust. Get out every now and then. Clear space for that exhaust to make sure it doesn't come into the vehicle. We have issues with carbon monoxide.
And remember, it's always better to be safe than sorry.
If you get stranded, you're stuck in the snow, call 911. That is certainly possibly an emergency situation. So do notify us. We will try to get to you.
Reporting for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
The village of Poplar Grove comes together to surprise a neighbor they love. Walter Petrosky turned 100 years old today. He served in the Army during World War II. Petrosky's granddaughter says the community wanted to honor him for his commitment to neighbors on and off the battlefield.
In the 1980s, one of his neighbor's house was on fire, and before the fire department came, he ran into the house. His neighbor was wheelchair bound, and he picked up his neighbor and carried him out to safety.
Walter also received over 100 birthday cards with at least one from each of the 50 states he served to protect.
Democrats unveil months of evidence they say proves the former president incited the deadly riot in Washington.
After the break, the latest from day 2 of the impeachment trial.
And state line senior citizens will have food on their tables thanks to a donation. Coming up tonight at 6, the man who made it all possible says their smiling faces are thanks enough.
With a little bit more cloud cover this afternoon, we had our temperatures make it into the low teens. We could see a couple more lighter snow showers in the days to come, but another push of cold air means those single-digit temperatures return. More on that in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Today marks day 1, 2 in the Senate's impeachment trial against former President Donald Trump.
Democrats unveiled never-before-seen video of the deadly attack at the Capitol. DC's Rochelle Martin has the latest from today's oral arguments as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
Through graphic footage and the former president's own words.
You'll never take back our country with weakness.
Wednesday, House Democrats laid out months of evidence they say directly ties Trump to the violent January 6th insurrection.
He incited this attack, and he saw it coming.
Impeachment managers Jamie Raskin and Joe Neguse say for months Trump falsely told supporters the election was stolen and then summoned them to the Capitol.
President Trump was no innocent bystander. This was an organized attack on the counting of the Electoral College votes to stop you, to stop us.
But Democrats face an uphill battle. They'll need at least 17 Republicans to try and convict the former president. So far, just 6 believe the trial is even constitutional. North Dakota Senator Kevin Cramer says he thinks Democrats are just out to get Trump.
Just why are Democrats so concerned about having him on the ballot 4 years from now?
But agrees the final outcome will be a vote of conscience.
Every senator is going to make this decision based on what they hear here, what they believe.
While he voted to declare the trial unconstitutional, for now Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley is keeping his thoughts to himself.
I'm a juror, and I'm not going to make any comments.
But Tuesday, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley said he doubts Republicans will have a change of heart.
I think this thing is not going anywhere. A terrible waste of time.
Both sides will continue arguments through the weekend. In Washington, Rochelle Martin.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
You know, we had the cloud cover out there earlier this afternoon, but it is nice to be able to see some clearing take place for us this evening. A live look with our Mercial SkyTrack camera up in Beloit, Wisconsin. Just absolutely gorgeous out there, but this is also going to set the stage for another colder night tonight. In fact, temperatures falling back into the single digits in many locations, like from Freeport up to Monroe and then back out to Galena. 9 our temperature in Galena, 7 in Freeport, 13 here in Rockford. We've had a bit of a breeze this afternoon come in from the north, and one thing you might have noticed later this afternoon and into the evening with that wind kind of picking up, a little bit more blowing snow on those east-west roads. So as our wind kind of picks up these next couple of days, we might have to contend with a little bit more blowing snow in some of the open and rural areas. Wind isn't going to get overly strong, but enough to kind of blow over the roads and might get some slick spots here as the sun does set. That cold air mass really just gripping a good chunk of the country here, kind of the heart of the plains and the Midwest, extending all the way down into the southern plains. For us, we are on the northern fringe of the more active part of the jet stream. That has been a little bit more focused to our south, but we have had a few lighter snow showers try to move through. All we've really ended up with that. However, today has been just a couple of flurries, so no accumulation with that. Same can't be said a bit further to the south, where ice storm warnings, winter weather advisories extend all the way back through Texas. In fact, Texas temperatures over the weekend in the Panhandle could drop below 0 for overnight lows. That is something that does not happen all too often. 10 above, our weather watcher Ben in South Beloit is checking in with a dew point number of 3 below. Also 3 below our dew point for Bob in Rockford, temperature also of 10. We head over into Ogle County. Mike, our weather watcher, just north of Foreston, 9 underneath a mostly cloudy sky. And we welcome our newest member to our weather watcher club, Ken in Belvedere, has 10 degrees and able to see some sunshine too, just as you saw on that SkyTrack. So we will clear out as we go through this evening, which means we'll see some sun as we go through the start of our Thursday. And like today, that cloud cover builds back in. Now, even though Futurecast is not showing this, still the chance for some lighter snow as we go through the afternoon and then into the evening. We'll clear out a little bit for Thursday night going into Friday, but by Friday afternoon, another system comes in, kind of this wave of these very weak low pressure systems. This one, though, I think has a little bit more oomph with it Friday into Saturday, and we could see a better chance for some more accumulating snowfall, maybe a couple inches coming up here by the time we head into Saturday afternoon. But for tonight, that temperature drops down to 3 below. Winds are going to be a little on the breezy side, so that wind chill back down to 10 to even 15 degrees below zero tomorrow morning. 14 for tomorrow afternoon. Clouds will thicken up, a few light snow showers, and again, that northerly wind could get some blowing snow with that. Temperatures then fall, unfortunately, as we head into the weekend. Another surge of that colder air, single-digit highs. But guys, we could see the 20s return by next week.
It's nice to see that slow climb at the end of the 7-day. Thanks, Candice.
Scott's in next to talk sports.
The Bears are kicking the tires on Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz, but is the veteran play caller even worth pursuing?
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Well, the Bears' search for a quarterback has turned to the Eagles and Carson Wentz. According to reports, the Bears and the Colts are the two teams showing the most interest in Wentz. Wentz would probably prefer to go to the Colts because of his ties to Colts head coach Frank Reich from his days with the Eagles. Plus, the Colts have a better team right now than the Bears have. And the Eagles would probably prefer to deal Wentz to the Colts in the AFC so they wouldn't have to run up against him in the NFC. The question is, can the Bears put together a trade package that would entice the Eagles? And is Wentz even worth pursuing? He has talent. We saw it in 2017 when he was an MVP candidate before he went down with an injury late in the season. The problems with Wentz are he's injury prone, he's inconsistent, and he might not have the mental toughness to ever be anything close to a franchise quarterback. Those three things make him a gamble, but the Bears are entering desperation mode when it comes to finding a quarterback. Wentz might be their best bet. If you compare Wentz's numbers with Trubisky's, there's not much difference. In his 4 seasons, Trubisky has completed 64% of his passes. In his 5 seasons, Wentz has completed just under 63%. Trubisky's interception percentage is 2.3, which means 2.3% of his passes get picked. Wentz's is only slightly better at 2%. Trubisky's passer rating is 87.2. Wentz's is 89.2. The one thing both these guys have in common is neither one has been surrounded by great offensive weapons. That's my take. We'll be right back.
No sunshine today for the most part, but we're actually a little bit warmer than yesterday, right?
Yeah, temperatures made it into the teens. 15 degrees is our official high.
No wonder we were sweating.
I know, right? Yeah, temperatures will be taking a little bit of a tumble again going into the weekend. Now, we are starting to see that sky clear out, which means a beautiful sunset here this evening. Our first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We had some light snow show up on radar, but still a bit of dry air overhead as we went through the day today. Temperatures right now at 7. We're 13 in Rockford. Well, maybe we'll get to that 7-day forecast. But I'll tell you what it's going to be. Down to 3.
There it is.
So there you go. 3 below tonight, 14 tomorrow, 11 on Friday, single-digit highs for the weekend. Some lighter snow possible again tomorrow afternoon, mid to late afternoon, and then watching a couple systems Friday into Saturday and then early next week.
All right. Thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending a little of your time with us. Stay safe.